Welcome. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. It's a little cooler here this morning on the west coast of Florida, but perfect for Halloween, right? Perfect for Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody. I'm Theresa Fieberts, and I'm so happy that you're here with us this morning. Just really delighted that you joined in this morning or any time that you pop in to watch this video. I'm just thrilled that you're connecting with us. Don't you love Halloween? I love Halloween, and I was super excited that it was going to be on Sunday this year. I've always wanted to dress up as the minister, you know. Always thought I was going to do the church lady, you know. Well, but I couldn't stay in character for a whole hour doing that. So you got this beautiful butterfly. And I want to thank Troll Fairy Designs for that, for the makeup and the costume. And also Abe Waterman. Check this out. Look at that pumpkin. Both Abe and Troll Fairy Designs are friends of Laura and Andy Daly. And so I'm just so thrilled that they were here to help us out this morning. So I love seeing the children in costumes, don't you? I mean, I like dressing up too, but I love seeing the children in costumes. And when I was young, I really, really loved getting a bag full of chocolate candy bars. Can't deny that. Chocolate candy bars and Reese's. Reese's, those were my favorites. And truth be told, still really love them. And when my kids were little, I'd raid their bags, you know, with them. But none of us wanted those doggone sweet tarts. We didn't want the sweet tarts. We didn't want those hard pieces of bubble gum. Nope, didn't want that. So we'd sort through the bag, right? Sort through the bag, picking out what we want. You might know about that. And wouldn't it be cool if we could do that with life? If we could just sort through life, pick out what we want, easily discard that we don't want. You know what? There's some truth to that we could do it. Some truth to it. If we choose consciously. Because the reality of it is that we're experiencing life to the level of our awareness. That we are involved, engaged, participating in creating life. And so to the level that we recognize that is to the degree that we get to experience our handiwork, our own handiwork. And we don't always choose wisely, though, do we? We don't always choose for our healthiest and our wisest. But we can always become more aware. We can always become more aware. And then sometimes life gives us circumstances and situations that we did not choose. That we're really clear, I didn't choose for this to happen. But you know what? Again, we can choose our response. We can choose always our response. And when we choose our response consciously, then we get to affect what happens next. Right? Then we're really participating. That's what we tune in here for every Sunday morning is some way to understand and grasp that a little clearer in our lives. And that's why we take classes, and that's why we get together and talk about spiritual concepts. Yeah, that's what we do. So today, I'm going to encourage you to really grasp this understanding that you can wear any costume you want. You can transform. You can wear any costume that you choose to do. So together, we are consciously choosing to transform our own lives and helping to make the world a better place at the same time, right? So let's take this idea into prayer. Into prayer where we recognize that we live and move in a loving and supportive universe. That indeed, all life comes from that infinite realm of possibilities. Infinite realm of possibilities. And I participate in that. Each one of us participate and be in the portal through which the divine spirit moves itself from the infinite invisible into form. And so I affirm our awakening our awakening to our spiritual magnificence, our awakening to our ability to transform from the inside out. From the inside out. I know that whatever inspiration is needed today, be it through the music, the sharing, the reading, the message, whatever it is felt at a really deep and powerful, empowering way. This day in life is more beautiful, more glorious, more responsive to our true desires than ever before. And so it is. So it is. Today we are talking about that transformation of moving from fear into faith. It is all a creative process that we are involved in. And so we're talking about how to really do that. Yeah? So, super excited for our musician is Matthew Frost today. And so Matthew's a talented multi-instrumentalist. And this morning, though, he's going to inspire us with his little spooky piano playing. Pretty cool, pretty excited to hear the vibe on the piano from him this morning. So open your hearts to Matthew Frost.
the season.
Thank you, Matthew. That was awesome. I was just swaying along. That was fantastic. The piano playing is just phenomenal. Good morning. I'm Gina Alisea, and I am a spiritual practitioner. And each week, as I listen to the music and hear the artists share their gifts, I wanted to share my gifts with you. So I'm going to show you a few slides and quotes on fear to faith. So Bobby, there we go. So this is a quote from Ernest Holmes. What would happen if we could convert the energy of fear to faith, the energy of doubt and uncertainty into a feeling of belonging to the universe and being safe in it? Would not the original artist himself go forth into new creation through us? Our true nature is the creator within. Yes. Metaphysical law. Reverend Michael Beckwith says, a lie acts as a law until neutralized. Ernest Holmes states, it is clear that the law can never say, I will not. It can only act as instructed. Are you using the law of manifestation to produce your fears, or using faith to neutralize your fears? Are you allowing faith to flow through you to break up those fear-based thoughts? If you look into the essence of who you really are at the deepest level, you'll find a unique gift you've been blessed with. That gift is your greatest contribution to the people around you. Are you open to receive the vision? We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. Are you ready for your breakthrough? It is the consciousness back of the word that forms the word. Consciousness means the inner embodiment of an idea through the recognition of truth and a direct relationship to the divine. Allow the divine to create through you. And here is the prayer of allowing from my book, Painted Prayers. I recognize the power and presence of God. I recognize the power and presence of love. I surrender right here and right now to your full power and presence in my life. I allow the Holy Spirit to use me. I allow the golden light of God to flow through me and out to others. I allow God to use me as the vessel for which love is known. Allowing this golden light of love to flow through me and out to others, the chains are broken. The past is over. The healing has occurred. It is in recognizing the truth of our being that we are known. It is in sharing our presence with another that we are known. Allowing God to be seen in life as love, we are known. How powerful it is to allow Spirit to use us and our gifts and talents to bring light and love into the world. For this, I am so grateful, and so it is. And now, back to Matthew.
I'm sometimes a little speechless. um, Matthew, thank you so very much. Future memories. Yeah, that's what we're creating. That's what we're doing all the time, right? All the time. And so thank you. Thanks for that reminder and bringing your talent to us. Gina, so spot on. So spot on. I loved your slides. I loved your presentation. And you know, who, right, that Marianne Williamson quote, who are we not to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Every one of us are. Every one of us are. You just saw two great demonstrations of that, right? Fabulous, fabulous. I'm going to tell you a little story this morning. I'm going to tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Theresa. Some people in her family called her TC Annie. And she had a bedtime ritual. Kind of went like prayers and fears in that order. Prayers and fears in that order. So there she is on her knees by her bedside praying. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake, if I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. So little TC Annie was a little fearful when it was time to be tucked in at night. And she'd be yelling after her mom, check the closet, leave the lights on, leave the lights on. Fearful that the boogeyman was under the bed, in the closet. I'm never, ever, ever would little TC Annie hang her hand over the side of her bed. Oh no, because whatever was under there could snatch it. And speaking of snatching, you know, who exactly was going to snatch her soul? It's a wonder that she ever got any shut-eye, really. For all the doom that could possibly happen, could creep up and get her in the middle of the night when she's so innocently unsuspecting. Really, the notion of stealing children's souls, I don't think I'm the only one that was bothered by this, quite truthfully. And that prayer first appeared in 17th century colonial school books. So lots of kids were hearing that story. And now we know there's many reasons why people have sleep problems, you know, why they don't get a good night's sleep. How many people have insomnia or sleep apnea, you know, and maybe this little ditty is kind of going around in their head instead of sugar plums, you know, I don't know. But what I do know is that experts in the field of sleep talk about the relationship between stress and worry and sleep deprivation. There's a direct link between them. And then combine that little prayer with the idea that you're you got to confess all your sins, you know, the good little Catholic girl that I was, and you end up with a frightful mess. It can be a frightful mess of a childhood. And I would worry and wonder, you know, it could be a toss-up who was eventually going to win my soul, you know, the arm wrestling deal between Satan and God, you know, who was really going to win, because some days it was really a crapshoot, you know, where I had more ticks on which side of the line. So it seems to me like that's a lot of pressure for a little kid. You know, it's that age-old movie, that religious psycho thriller called The Fear of God. I will put the fear of God in you. I certainly heard that enough times too. Those were traumatic events happening every day, every night, you know. And I'm kind of making light of, you know, of this situation with a story, but really we know that there are negative lasting effects of childhood trauma. And they affect our relationships and our mental and physical health. And there's oodles of scholarly articles out there. There's research out there that you can look up that report on the connection between childhood trauma and distorted images of God. And so they show that children are way less likely, if they've had childhood trauma, to describe God as loving or always present and forgiving. And they are less likely to even have a positive image of God. You know, I might have found some relief with my prayer had I been aware of Shel Silverstein's version of this childhood prayer. If I could have used his prayer of the selfish child, it would have gone like this. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And if I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my toys to break, so none of the other kids can use them. Amen. Maybe I would have been a little more adjusted. Just don't know. Look, there's no fight going on for my soul, for your soul. We're here to fulfill our soul's journey. There's not a struggle going on anywhere except for within us, of our own doing. We're here to delight in this soul's journey. We're here to sing and dance and paint and play. That's what we're here for. It's a journey of growth, our own growth. And as we grow and expand into who and what we truly are, as we transform our lives, we help make the world a better place. It's a benefit for all of humanity when we step into our true selves. There's so much evidence, isn't there, as to why we should be afraid? There's tons of evidence. And I gotta say that for me, right up there at the top is the religious beliefs of eternal damnation and the outdated sins of sex before marriage. Really? God forbid that we would love someone of the same sex. I read an article yesterday of a couple in Chicago. They got married in 1989, and a few years after their wedding, they disclosed to each other that they were both gay. They didn't tell a soul for 30 years. Not even their children, who were now adults, for 30 years. For 30 years, they hid who they authentically were. For 30 years, they wore a costume of safety, a costume of, it was a disguise, right? A disguise, hiding who they truly are. And the wife said that they were taught that, quote, being homosexual, they were going to go straight to hell. There were no two ways about it. You know, in our country alone, there's hundreds of years of racial and homophobic hatred, discrimination, and worse. There are so many people that are living in fear of letting their light shine, of being their true, brilliant, gorgeous, talented selves. And there's many reasons why we do this. There's many reasons why we're in fear. Another one right up there at the top of the list, probably right under religion, somewhat related to, is politics. You know, our political parties and the news feeds us heaping helpings of fear every single day. You can get it in the morning, you can get it at midday, you can get it at night. Heck, you can get it all day long. And it's the fear around, you know, the wrong guy's going to win, the other party's going to take control, whatever it is. And we fear change. As humans, we fear change. We fear loneliness. We fear failure, rejection, uncertainty. We fear being judged. We fear these things for ourselves. We fear for ourselves. We fear for our children, for our parents, for our friends. Ay, ay, ay. We fear that we don't have enough money to take care of ourselves as we age. We fear that we're going to fall into bad health as we age. And my God, don't watch any of the commercials on TV where they read really quick all the fine print of the side effects of the drugs that we're taking. Holy cow. And we fear death. Well, aren't we all going to die? Let's just talk about that for a minute. Aren't we all going to die? It's been 2 months since my best friend Chris died. You know, life comes to an end. There is a brevity to life. And it feels harsh. It feels harsh. But why? Why would we live in fear of death? We are here to live now. And so live we must. Experience we must. Express we must. Create we must. I ask you to think about that for a moment. Do you fear your own death? Do you fear death? And ask yourself why. Do you fear someone else's death? And ask yourself why. Are you afraid to look at your fears? Ask yourself why. Because the boogeyman comes in lots of shapes and sizes. There's this superstitious idea and new thought, something that really irks me, so I want to talk about for a minute, that we can't say a negative word. God forbid we say something that sounds negative, or we had a negative thought pass through our heads. You hear people say cancel, cancel, cancel. You're giving more energy to it by saying cancel, cancel, cancel. Let it go. Let it go. I know that all month long I've been talking about creativity, and I'm talking about how the universal divine imagination and the Word of God creates everything, and then us as these mini-me's, we too are creative. But look, folks, it's not about superstitious use of words. You know, one of Gina's quotes was about, it's that consciousness behind it, you know? It's really where we're putting the oomph. It's that feeling. I've got another Shel Silverstein for you on this topic of superstitious. This one's called Superstitious. If you are superstitious, you'll never step on cracks. When you see a ladder, you will never walk beneath it. And if you ever spill some salt, you'll throw some across your back and carry round a rabbit's foot just in case you need it. You'll pick up any pin you find lying on the ground, and never, ever, ever will you throw your hat on the bed or open an umbrella when you're in the house. You'll bite your tongue every time you say a thing that shouldn't have been said. You'll hold your breath and cross your fingers walking by a graveyard, and number 13's never going to do any good. Black cats will always look vicious if you're superstitious. But I'm not superstitious. Knock on wood. In the science of mind, we're interested in the tendency of your thoughts. The tendency, the predominance of your thoughts. That's what's creative. You know, are you worrying or are you faith-filled? Do you do your affirmations and say your treatments around being abundant and then worry about your bills? If so, your worry probably is more predominant than the morning's prayer. It is smart. It is smart to look at our fears. And thank God that not every thought manifest. But when we look at our fears, we do so with a sense of curiosity. We do so in order to uncover what's there, to understand them. And then we get to shine the light of truth upon it. Spiritual principle, the real truth of who and what we are. Because if we look long enough at those fears, we can diffuse them. We certainly can diffuse them. And then they no longer hold any power, any influence over us. We can neutralize them, as Michael Beckwith said, right? So enough about fear for a moment. Let's look at faith. It's a muscle. It's a muscle that we build, and we don't create faith. Just like we don't create our muscles, right? We exercise them. We build them up, but they're already there. We didn't create them. We exercise them. You have to exercise your faith muscle. It's like the cyclical thing, you know? You step out in faith, so it's an exercise, right? And then, whoa, look what happens. It's good. And so you get some experience. You build your faith, and you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going. Our demonstrations build more faith, more trust, but you got to take action. You got to step out. You got to tell your truth. You got to know your truth. So let's go back to T.C. Annie, to when she's 31 years old. Miserable in her marriage. She's now had 2 children. She walks into a New Thought church. She walks into a center of science of mind. And she starts learning. She starts learning that, first off, Satan and God aren't vying for her soul. Nope. No one's keeping score. Nope. And she's not going to burn in eternity, for eternity in hell. Not going to happen, because what she figured out was she was already living a hell. She was already suffering. She was already there. She had to put on this suit of curiosity, right? Suit of curiosity. And then it grew into a suit of understanding for why she was thinking the way that she thought. And she had to begin looking deeply at herself for the first time ever, really. And she had to face her fears. The boogeyman now at 31 was the IRS and debt collectors. The skeletons in the closet were now drugs and alcohol. She was gaining hope. Gaining hope. And the more her image of God changed, the more she grew in confidence. And the more confidence she got, the more changes she was empowered to make. The stronger her relationship with God got, the more she sat in meditation, the more she did treatment, the stronger she got. The more she could utilize and then be utilized by this creative intelligence. It's the braver she got. The braver she got. And then she could choose from infinite possibilities. That was my metamorphosis. That was my metamorphosis. So, fear to faith. They are identical. Identical in their creative abilities. Identical. Fear and faith. Identical. It's the same energy being used in a different direction. Ernest Holmes said, fear is the positive outcome. It's the positive acceptance that what it is that I don't want to have happen is going to happen. That is fear. Faith, on the other hand, is the positive acceptance that what I do want is going to happen. Same power, same energy, different directions. My last poem from Shel Silverstein in his book, Light in the Attic. It's called Fear. Barnabas Browning was scared of drowning, so he never would swim, or get into a boat, or take a bath, or cross a moat. He just sat day and night with his door locked tight. and the windows knelt down, shaking with fear that a wave would appear, and cried so many tears that they filled up the room, and he drowned. Do not let your fears become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you are filled with fears, number one, don't harbor them as some secret. Find a trusted friend, a therapist, call a practitioner. But when you give voice to it, when you share, you unburden the load that you're carrying. You unburden your soul and release the tensions of fear that have built up in your body. And then you can begin to build your faith muscles. Don't let the fears bring you down. Don't let them bring you down. Choose faith instead. I'm going to go back to Matthew. Don't let it bring you down.
You will come around. You will come around. Don't let it bring you down. It's only castles burning. Find someone who's turning. You will come around. You will come around.
Oh, Emil, you're muted. Start
Well,
it
here
over.
I am, looking at binoculars as I cruise the horizon. So what I was saying was thank you to everyone, and it made me realize that Halloween is a day that we tend to play. We dress up, we put costumes on, we do all sorts of things we wouldn't ordinarily do. And the power of the words spoken today by everyone and sung today just remind me that play and praise are equivalent terms, just like fear and faith are two ends of a long continuum. So we are, it is time to play in that space of circulating the power of the universe. And I just want you to think about what that power of the universe is for you in this moment. It is not a power that wants to steal anything away. It is not a power that wants to steal your soul, as Reverend Theresa so wonderfully shared about that evening prayer that we heard and continue to hear. It is about the givingness of the universe, the givingness of spirit, the power of our positive thought, our thought that says, this is the outcome that I want. And I want to see a powerful ministry known as Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. I want to see us all being the power under that ministry. And what does it take? Our gifts, our energy, our time, talents, and treasure. Openly, freely, knowing that it'll all be restored in greater and greater quantity. So I simply just take a moment to bless the giver and bless the gift, and know that as we give forth of our energies represented in all those forms, time, talent, and treasure, that we are building powerful ministry known as, once again, Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. I am grateful. I am grateful for each one of you that is supporting and building this ministry, and I am grateful for the day. And so it is. Over to you, Bobby.
Thank you, Rev G. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
You stay right here.
All right.
Okay. Thank you again for being with us on this holiday day, Halloween day. Just want to tell you, just again, in case you weren't with us at the very beginning, Abe Waterman did this beautiful pumpkin here. He's from Canada. Look at that artwork. Isn't that magnificent? And my makeup and costume is from Troll Fairy Designs. And I want to thank Laura and Andy Daly because both of these are friends. They're friends of theirs. So that helped make my morning really special and fun here, extra fun. I also want to just show off Gina's book. Now she spoke about this, her Painted Prayers book. So I just wanted to show you that. That's where those slides were from, and the prayer. And then lastly, just a quick announcement that I love the holidays. Can you tell? I love the holidays, and so they start with Halloween. And next month, of course, we have my favorite, which is Thanksgiving. And so make sure that you tune in, that you're getting our emails, and you know what's going on. Because I hope that we'll have some fun surprises. But one of the things that you hopefully do already know about is the annual meeting, which is on November 14th. It's on a Sunday. After the Sunday service, we'll do Zoom. Everybody is invited to that. The link will be shared, right before then. But everybody is invited, and especially if you're a member, we want your voice. But everyone, friends and members, we want to know specifically about your thoughts around reopening. So we're in person, being in person. And so we're going to do another poll about that at that time. So you want to be with us. I'm going to go post the link for the social time right now. And so come on and spend an hour chit-chatting with us. We'll talk about our fears and our faith. All right? Mwah. Love to you. Bobby, finish us up.
All right. Thank you, Theresa. Don't forget, if you would like prayer support, please email prayer@cslculturalcoast.org. We're going to take it out with a song from David Roth called Create and Adjust. Keep creating. All I can do what I must. All I can do, create and adjust. When I am open, willing to trust, all I can do is create and adjust. All I can say what I can. Time to speak up, oh, this is my plan. When I am open, taking a stand, all I can say is say what I can. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Yes, I can. Sing along now. I can do this. Sing it, Theresa. I can do this. I can do this. Yes, I can. All I can be who I will. I am a brand new $2 bill. When I am open, oh, what a thrill. All I can be is be who I will. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Yes, I can. All I can do what I must. All I can do, create and adjust. When I am open, willing to trust. All I can do, create and adjust. When I am open, taking a stand, all I can say is say what I can. When I am open, oh, what a thrill. All I can be is be who I will. When I am open, willing to trust, All I can do is create and adjust. Create a beautiful life for yourselves.